Yeah. What up? How y'all doing this afternoon? Y'all now tuned in to A Real Talk Podcast featuring the world famous Stacks with the Facts, VirgilBerry, aka Stacks Luciano, and we gonna get right into it. How y'all doing today? By the way, it's a beautiful afternoon out here today. And as y'all see that the title of today's episode is Voice the Skull and Voice of God Technology. And this is the pickup from the other day when we was going in on mind control. Now, if y'all think it's a game, first thing off top, I'm going to tell y'all this, what y'all should do is go Google Voice of God Technology and go Google Voice to Skull Technology. Now, with this 5G rolling out and the setting up of the smart grid, this technology is going to be amplified by the smart grid. You got a lot of people here talking about that they're hearing voices in their head. They're hearing voices telling them to do these things, these massive shooters. You know, these mass shooting, so-called, I guess they did it, we don't know, Manchurian candidate type of people, right? This technology was developed back in the 40s. This was a part of MK Ultra. This also is a part of Project Bluebeam. Sound is a frequency, as is everything else, or should I say has a frequency. And if technology that has been created is used to project thoughts and voices into people's brains, understand that means you can be manipulated into doing something that you normally wouldn't do. Now, add to that a person who's on psychotropic drugs. Add to that a person who doesn't eat the best food. Add to that a person who doesn't live in a real healthy environment, not to mention an environment that's inundated by all these EMF fields. Frequencies, I should say. That's why I say, are those your thoughts that you are thinking? And when they get this smart grid system fully online, it's going to be a lot more people saying they hearing things, they seeing things. Project Bluebeam is something that was created to potentially, possibly one day, use this technology via the smart grid to project images in the sky and environment to make it look like it is a alien invasion, make it look like Jesus is coming back to take y'all Christian people back. Yeah, the technology exists. Do your research. The technology exists, y'all. I'm telling y'all that it's out there. And you can be manipulated through sounds and images and voices being projected into your skull via the Wi-Fi, wirelessly. Now, what y'all think is going to happen if y'all get them computer chips put into you, if they're not already in us? Think about where they're going with this mandatory vaccination. How are they going to monitor and make sure everybody is taking their medication? In what way could you manipulate people on a mass scale and have them thinking that they going crazy, then to project thoughts and sounds and words and images into their brain wirelessly through the Wi-Fi smart grid that they is currently setting up and indoctrinating us into helping them create for us? Think about that, y'all. Think about the young boy who just did this shooting, the last one down here in Parkland. He said he heard voices in his head telling him to go shoot him. Think about the cases of people saying that they heard voices in their head telling them to commit the things that they did. When you do some research into this voice to skull technology, this voice of God technology, it all makes sense and it all becomes clear why some of the things that's happening is happening. Now, a lot of people will say this is some conspiracy theory type stuff, right? But it's not, because in actuality, it's actual fact. You know? So just think about it for a second. If you can wirelessly over the smart grid, through the smart grid, if you can use that to project, like I said, sounds, images, words into people's minds and manipulate them into committing acts that they normally wouldn't do. This technology could be used to make people, like I say, make people think that aliens is coming. This technology could be used to drive people crazy. Think about when I talk about stuff, and this is something we're going to get into later too, we're going to talk about gang stalking. We're going to talk about targeted individuals. What better way than to experiment with this technology than use it on a global scale by driving people insane by projecting these sounds, these images, these words into their minds, and literally are making people insane. Now imagine this technology being used on the battlefield in the various war zones around the world. This technology is being used and has been being used for 20, 30 some odd years now. Y'all remember what happened back in Rwanda in the mid-late 90s when they had the Rwandan genocide, Operation Crimson Mist? This is all the same technology where they use these electromagnetic fields and they use them in a directed energy fashion, hence the term directed energy weapons. And they use these frequencies to amplify your anger, amplify whatever it is that they want you to experience. Know and understand that every emotion you have resonates at a frequency. Anger has a frequency. Anxiety has a frequency. Rage has a frequency. And since we are electrical beings, our electromagnetic fields can be manipulated wirelessly through the Wi-Fi to do things we probably wouldn't do if that wasn't being manipulated. Hence, people hearing voices and these voices leading them to go commit violent acts. Operation Crimson Mist. They loaded this technology in the form of an energy beam weapon onto C-50 airplanes, I think, and they flew them over Rwanda, where the fights was going on at, where the Hutus and the Tutsis were fighting with having altercation with each other, and they directed these frequencies at them in an energy beam, and it amplified their anger, it amplified their rage, and they killed each other. They murdered each other. They were eating each other. They were resorted to cannibalism over there in Rwanda. This is what caused the Rwandan genocide. Think of movies like Hotel Rwanda with Don Cheadle in it. Think of movies like that. So now you kind of get an understanding of where this technology comes from. Y'all can get an understanding of why people are saying they're hearing voices. Why people say that after they commit these acts, they say it wasn't me. They said I didn't even have any recollection of what I was doing. They confused. Think of people like Lee Harvey Oswald. Think of people like Timothy McVeigh. Voice to skull technology. voice of God technology. Do your research on it. Go check it out so you can see for yourself that, hold on, what this man is saying sound crazy, but hold on. We got some evidence to back that up. We got government documentation to back that up. These were CIA projects. MK Ultra, Project Monarch, Project Butterfly, right? Operation Crimson Mist, Operation Sea Spray. Google these things and inform yourself. And my challenge to y'all, like I had the title of the show the other day, is to ask yourself the question, are those your thoughts you thinking? And be honest about that. Have some humility about yourself, man. Are those your thoughts you thinking? You know? It's a method to the madness out there, brethren and sister. We just have to have the courage to pursue the information and where it's going to take us, and don't judge it. Don't have no preconceived notions, because when you do that, that's going to be the firewall, the barrier that prevents you from going where that information will take you, because of your conditioned view is not going to allow you to challenge what you've been told to believe already. You know? The first thing people's going to say is like, oh no, that's not real. Or they're not doing that. They wouldn't do that. No, you wouldn't do that because you're not a psychopath. These people will do these things, and they have been doing it. And there's proof and evidence to back it up. So like I say, I challenge y'all to inform yourself. I challenge y'all to go to your Google search engine and type those things in and see what you come up with, and then you get back with me. Because we got to start getting to the bottom of this stuff, y'all. We got to start challenging this stuff. We got to start questioning this stuff. And we got to just stop accepting what we being told by these people. How many more shootings got to occur with people talking about they heard voices in their head and they taking psychotropic drugs made by the same companies that own and are in business with the same people who tell us these lies. They tell us, they want us to believe through the news and information they give us through the media that they own as well. So my question to y'all is, are those y'all's thoughts that y'all be thinking? Think about that. You know, we got a lot of people that talk about this stuff. Deborah Tavares, y'all should go Google her too. She talks a lot about this technology and how it's being used over there in California right now in them wildfires. People being told to leave their homes. People talking about they hearing voices in their heads telling them to leave their houses and stuff. Think about that stuff, y'all, man. You know, do some research. Question. Because it's a method to the madness, as I always say. You know, people talk about they hearing voices in their head. Think about when people talking about the devil made them do it. Think about when people say, I hear things. Think about multiple personality disorder, or as it is now known, dissociative identity disorder. Think about stuff like that. And maybe when you do some research, if you have the courage, into the voice of God technology and voice to skull technology, you'll have an understanding of why these things be happening. I want to thank y'all once again. It's a pleasure and a blessing and an honor. Y'all tuning in at A Real Talk Podcast. This is Stacks with the Facts, Stacks Luciano, real name VirgilBerry, man. Y'all can get with me on Twitter at capital BERRY, the number 2, capital VIRGIL. Y'all can get with me on Instagram at berry.virgil, all lowercase letters. And of course, y'all can get with me on Facebook. Just type in VirgilBerry. Y'all gonna see me with that Benny the Butcher hat on. And if y'all want to see me an email, get with me. VirgilBerry2@yahoo.com, all lowercase letters, VBERRY, the number 2 at yahoo.com. And remember, as always, don't believe nothing I say. Challenge it, investigate it, and do the research yourself. 100. Y'all take care of yourself.